Good morning, my loves. How are you? Today we're gonna do that seven chakra divine sacred masculine check-in. If you watched yesterday's video, I'll drop that in the pinned comment for you. But if you watched yesterday's video, you saw that my two decks had got um intermingled, and it was really showing how the sacred masculine hold keys for the feminines and the sacred feminines hold keys for the masculines. And I did last night go in and separate out the decks and make two full complete decks so that we're starting out fresh and new with a new beginning and a new energy. And I brought in the energy of the rose quartz to sit with the decks to bring in that essence of love. So today I'm just going to draw the seven chakra cards, and then I'm going to intuitively share the messages that come through with that, and I will pull extra messages as guided. This is just how we flow here. So, welcome, and let's see what the masculines want to share today. Just give me a moment as I get the seven cards down. Okay, they came. So, all right. Wow. These tend to bring in lots of different messages. Oh, okay. There is one that has two. That always fascinates me. So, in the root chakra with the masculines, we have the Fool, which is a new beginning. And interestingly, when I was shuffling the deck, I kept seeing this card. So, it's really coming through that there's a deep awareness that there is a new beginning in the timelines and the energies and within these sacred union connections. And to me, the fact that this is in the root chakra of the sacred masculine is signifying their awareness that this new beginning is being anchored, stabilized, and grounded in their awareness as well. With the moon card in the sacral chakra of the masculine, this is speaking to me about the opening and the depths of the understanding of these connections. What's coming through is actually that as the feminines have been through their purification process or still processing it, the more the sacred feminines process in the sacral area, and it's opening up the space for the masculines to drop in and be able to stabilize in the depth of the emotion of these connections. It definitely feels expansive energy, both of these. I mean, even I could read those in a different way, but we're going to leave this right now. It's almost like that falling into the new beginning, right? It's like the letting go, dropping in, and then falling into the depths of the ocean, right? And like we've spoke about here, these connections are huge. Okay. Like they're way different than other types of relationships. They activate us and initiate us into our true potential and capacity as humans. And it's not that we haven't always been those things, we have been. But as we were born onto this planet, we dropped into the energies here, and a lot of it was dropping into the energies of our forgetfulness. Like we were kind of put into the energy where we had to forget to survive. And the masculines hold these codes of survival and stability and protection very deeply. So as the feminines have stabilized into her higher energies, right? Like in her comfort with her intuition, with her higher abilities, getting more and more comfortable with her intuitive connection and higher connection, this is allowing the masculines to feel safe to go into theirs. Because, like we've spoke about, it is the sacred feminines that hold that higher connection and hold the protection in the spiritual, higher energetic realms for these overall connections. Okay. And so as we move into the solar plexus with this Four of Wands, to me, with that message that just came through, is this signaling that the masculines are aware of the importance of these connections and the dynamics, both in balancing the inner union energies and opening up to their own internal intuitive abilities, but through this process of feeling the depths of the connection, the emotion, and having access to feeling the stability within the connection, within the heart space, is allowing them to explore in new and deeper ways what these connections actually mean to them and explore the importance of what that is. And understanding in a deeper way their own power within their own inner energies and internal union energies, but also the significance that the sacred and divine feminine partnership, divine counterpart, twin flame energies actually are holding. And so this feels to me that there is that acknowledgement of the power of the connection, each as individuals, but also as a unit, as a unit together. Okay. And in the heart space, we have this Five of Pentacle energy, which to me, coupled with what we already have on the table, is speaking about processing the depths of this connection and also processing some of the disappointment around perhaps not being able to maintain or sustain it. I'm also actually getting that many of the masculines, as they're realizing the depth and the truth of these connections and their connection to their sacred feminine partner, counterpart, there are some grieving processes going on. I am feeling a sense of guilt and shame around like not being able to see it, but also as the masculines allow themselves this process of understanding the depth of it, it does feel like there's going to come a point as they honor those initial feelings, as they come out of the guilt and the shame, realizing that on some level they were doing the best that they could in those moments. And they're now actually able to awaken to the understanding, the connection, because the feminines have stabilized. It's going to allow this energy to open up and kind of come out of the grieving process, come out of the cold, and allow themselves to get their higher keys, their higher knowledge, and realize that everything that they need to be able to move forward with these connections is actually available to them. And it's through this process of trusting their own intuition and opening up to all of who they are that's going to allow this opening to occur. A few weeks ago, when this card came through, I felt like this opening, almost like as the codes and the keys to the locks are found within, as these energies are activated deeper and deeper into the heart space. um, that bunch of these understandings and awarenesses are going to be opening, and it's coming through right now. Part of what's happening is as the feminines are stabilizing into their energies and their truth, not running, walling, or freezing, and holding an open heart in the energies of her standards and her genuine protection, but also like the deeper the feminines embody into that sacred energy, um, the more the masculines that the masculine she's connected to can feel the stability in the standards, yet also the openness of her love. And what they're showing me is that is what's actually activating and opening the sacred masculine's heart. I did speak about this vision that I had in the Divine Feminine Surrender video. I'll drop that in the pinned comment. I do feel like more is coming through with the Divine Feminine Surrender, the empowerment of Divine Feminine Surrender. I'm going to do the 7 chakras with the feminine tomorrow. But if you would like more information around Divine Feminine Surrender, let me know in the comments, because I do feel like there's some deeper energies we can go into with that feel very important right now at this time. But with this, as the feminines are strengthening in her power via her surrender, and again dropping into an open heart with those protective cushions, right? It's signaling to the masculines that the feminine is in her strength and her power, which allows him to move more deeply into his. All right. And in the throat, the 10 of Pentacles came up. And when I put the cards down, I didn't realize that the Judgment card was underneath it as well. And to me, this is signifying that there is a transformation going on behind the scenes in the sacred masculine's throat chakra. And this feels very deeply connected to them stepping into their power, stepping into their ability to tap into their own higher intuition, opening up to wanting access. It feels very much, especially with what is left on the table, that the masculines have maybe at one point they ran from their higher abilities, their intuitive abilities. Perhaps it became scary or a little bit unknown because it was something that they maybe didn't realize they had inside, or because of the sheer magnitude of the power of it, it became scary because perhaps they didn't know how to wield it at that time. But through the practicing and through the experiences that they have been having, as they've been having these realizations about the connection, and they're embodying and experiencing the activation of their initiation they received from the divine feminine, it's allowing them to open up to their true powers and learning to embody them in a very physically manifested way. And it feels like, again, because of the way these cards came in, a lot of it is happening behind the scenes internally, where the feminine collective sort of like externally goes through her process in a very outward, almost like explosive energy. The masculines go through like an internal, um, almost implosion, which makes sense, right? We're holding opposite sides of the spectrum and having these very different experiences, where the feminine is sort of like in her initiation like the volcano exploding outward, and the masculine is like the earthquake sort of imploding inward, like we've spoke about. Okay, so but this process that's happening internally is supporting the masculine's ability to discern and understand more and more about what it is that they want to manifest into their physical life. And as the masculine allows his true voice and his true power to come to the surface, then it's going to become easier and easier for him to speak out and to take action around what it is that he truly is wanting. I can feel the energetics of it. It's like it's simmering underneath the surface and he's sorting through it for himself. But once he can actually articulate it and speak it out loud for himself, it's like he's still in this process of discerning his own truth, because he's still in the process of getting to know his own inner energies, his own inner intuition, his inner voice, his inner expression, his higher connection. And in the third eye chakra, with this Page of Swords, it's very clear that he is in this learning process of pulling in the higher messages, receiving his downloads, integrating what that means for him in a very physical world manner, right? Like looking at the blueprints, deciphering the blueprints, understanding what it is. And with this, like standing on the tightrope, clearly learning how to balance and understand and ground the magnitude of what he's receiving. And he's balancing and juggling many things at once while receiving messages from the higher power and his higher self, and then embodying it into physicality. With this, it's speaking to me like the energy that's coming through, as you can see, it's like it's not quite fully embodied all the way just yet, but it is very exceedingly close with what this card energetically is saying to me. It's like this is coming in. There is this process of learning to wield his true power. And he's beginning to truly, deeply understand that his power is a lot more than his physical ability to build and provide and protect. He's understanding more and more that as he allows himself to open to his true higher abilities and the magnitude of who he actually is and the power he truly has the ability to wield, he's carefully allowing himself to embody and practice those experiences so that when he does fully land and he's ready to take action in the physical world, he feels the stability of all of who he is. And I say that in the sense like, of course, we're still learning. Of course, we're still going to be growing. But as you have these experiences that support you, like day by day, little by little, like I was speaking about, having the inner union sacred circle, as we come together in those co-creative processes, it's giving us the opportunity to experience what it's like to be in these energies within our own ability to create, but also how to co-create with others. And so whatever experiences the masculines are embarking in right now is where he is learning to wield his true gifts and powers, where he's strengthening his inner trust. And as he trusts himself in his higher power and learns how to decipher what is his higher power and his higher voice and his true heart versus what was the external projections onto him. This is exceedingly powerful. And as I said that to you, I can feel where this is in process of occurring. And and as that deciphering energy happens and the masculine is more clear in his abilities, this is when the crown chakra, where he will fully move forward into his new energy, into his new day. You see where that drops down off the tightrope, off the bridge, and just walking towards the new energy and the new day. But this to me is really gorgeous confirmation of the masculine's process and where they are learning to work with their own energies. And this is oftentimes why the counterparts are in a physical world separation, because the magnitude and the power that each carries as an interdependent being in and of themselves is enormous, right? And so when they go into these places and spaces to work on that individually, it allows them each to drop into that internal truth and understanding the magnitude of their true being via their initiation through the muse and the inspiration that they receive from their divine counterpart and the activation into the other aspects of their energy, okay, that have always been there, but now it's being lit up, right? The flame, the initiation, the twin flame energy initiation is about activating and igniting those essences within your chakra system, within your being, right? Like awakening those genetic energies and memories. Okay. So the masculines are clearly in this process of preparing for the new beginning. And with the energies that I'm seeing here on the table, yes, there's this process of, understanding the depths of these connections and a deep learning phase. I am going to get a little bit, a few more cards. Let's see what wants to come through. Um, I'm gonna pull on the heart space with the smaller light seers deck and see what wants to come through as a result of what they're processing. Because within this heart space seems to be where obviously there's the emotion left, but it also feels like this emotion at this point is fuel, and some of the disappointment that they're experiencing, instead of feeling exceedingly overwhelming like it may have in the past, they're actually in this process of being able to learn what those lessons and experiences are meant to teach them. Okay. It's like they can reflect back and see maybe where they wish they did things different, but instead of sitting in those energies beating themselves up, they're actually taking those energies and incorporating it with their higher power and using it to learn about how they want to step forward into these new energies. Okay. Into this new beginning. So let's see what they want to share in the heart space a little bit deeper about what is going on in this heart space of the masculine collective. What would you like to share, bring forward? Oh, that was kind of coming out. Okay. We have the Nine of Pentacles and the Hermit. And to me, it's signifying deeper what I just said. They're literally in this process of perhaps going from feeling very angry and agitated about this connection and the feelings that it brought up into them, into this realization that it actually is happening for them. And as they allow themselves to accept the initiation and the intention that it was actually meant to provide, which was to catapult them into their true potential and power and beautifulness. As they accept that, they're able to really step into these energies of bearing the fruit of connecting with their higher power and embodying that. Again, this right now feels like it's still very much of an internal process with this hermit energy. And so they're really backing up that there's some things that you may be aware of or feeling or sensing in the energetics, and that would probably be more of where you would be noticing these energies. Okay. Um, but a lot of it is internal. There, like, I kind of sense that there's going to be more that you're witnessing in the external. Um, well, that makes sense with going from this Nine of Pentacles to this Ten of Pentacles in the throat chakra. I feel like there's something else that wants to come out with this Hermit and Nine of Pentacles. Okay, we have the Six of Pentacles. And this to me is saying that there's just a lot of recalibration happening in a karmic sense, in moving from codependent to interdependent energies. This feels very deeply in a process of reharmonization and activation, and very much like the masculines are still sorting through, I think as we all are, um, sorting through like clearing up the codependent energies and really sort of understanding how to embody this interdependence, which is where we are in our sovereign energy, right? And that we can provide and protect and show up in the physical world, right? But being an embodiment of that higher energy. So now this is bringing in another energy of that, signaling that the masculines are bridging that higher energy with their physical world and learning how to, it almost feels like juggle it. And maybe in some levels, at some moments, that's how they're feeling, right? Like they're learning how to juggle these energies. But there is going to come that point where they're settling in a more stabilized manner. But this definitely feels in process. And with quite a bit of pentacles on the table, it feels like it's really starting to solidify and embody for the masculine collective. All right. I would like to get one final support message for the masculines. And I'm going to pull from the Shaman Dream deck for the masculines. Let's see what we got. Oh, love it. Joyful Muse Inspiration. So to me, this is signaling that part of where we've been talking about the importance of dropping into our joy and having fun. And I feel like this is a combo message for the feminines and the masculines, that as we drop into our joy, feminines, it holds this space to allow the masculines to see the joy in the beautiful potential and the inspiration in the inner union energies, the joyful potential and harmonization that these connections hold. The potential, it's also bringing forth the message of, as we drop into our joy, it allows that sacred soul song, the clarity of your true core soul essence to come through. And that harmonization is inspirational for the sacred masculine. Like, and it's also coming through that, yes, for your personal divine counterpart, but for the sacred masculine collective that is going through this process in general. And as I say this, I feel more and more of you, of the feminines, will be connecting with other masculines in friendship, in co creation, in these camaraderie and reciprocity energies. It's again another level and layer of where we're learning to build and practice our skills. Okay. And for the masculines, continuing to allow yourself to receive the inspiration from the things that are supporting you and feeling joyful. Sacred masculines, take a moment to drop into what actually brings joy to your heart, what actually feeds you in a truly inspirational, fun way. And it's like where we as a collective are dropping into redefining what fun and joy is for us now versus the old ways where we felt kind of pigeonholed into having to live life in certain ways. And as a result of having to live in certain ways, we made these agreements to engage in things that were less than stellar and less than what we really wanted. We settled for things that made us agreeable to the functioning of those slavery templates. And as we unravel out of the slavery templates, we're also unraveling out of those other devil energies of distortion and delusion and um, suppression, the ways that we would choose to dissociate through distraction energies that weren't actually in alignment with us because we didn't know where to find our true joy. But now, as you are learning to step into truly all of who you are and realizing that following your actual joy, your heart, the fun, your sacred inner child is where you truly begin to create and build the life that you've actually always wanted. Because partaking in the old distractions is what's keeping you, like, keeping people stuck or keeping you or us stuck in the, like, not being able to move forward into our true joy. And you'll know this is the case if you're still feeling sort of trapped in what you are experiencing, but you can allow yourself to unravel and thaw and clear and dissolve out of those by dropping back into true joy. And what's coming through is to take a moment. I know many of you have done this, but it's still coming through. So I know this must be coming through for someone. And it feels important to notice where you may still be distracting or putting your energy into things in a way that isn't actually fully in alignment with what you're wanting to create, and then allowing yourself to pull your energy back and then move fully into what you're actually wanting to co-create in. Okay. So for me, an example would be like last week, how I told you I was guided to pull back and out of my other social medias because I'm feeling very guided to fully focus here in this community with you. And it's not that there was anything necessarily bad or wrong with those other accounts, but it wasn't really um, it was sort of distracting me away from what I was wanting to create instead of supporting it. Now, there may be a time down the road where I'm guided to go and create new accounts in the new energy. I'm open to whatever my higher guidance is, right? So sometimes it's just a recreation or of the energies, but in the frequency of where we are now. Okay. So if you're ever guided to let go of something, it doesn't mean you have to release it forever. Sometimes we're just being called to let go of the old attachments to what it was so that it can actually evolve and ascend into the version of the connection that you're actually genuinely wanting. And it's so important for us to, I think, sometimes do a check in with where we are because we are evolving and growing so quickly that sometimes it is important to do a temperature check on how is this making me feel now? Is it serving me in the same way? Is it bringing joy to my life? Is it inspiring me to expand and grow and to have fun and to drop into my joy? Or is it sort of pulling my energy away from what I'm wanting? And just check in with the things in your life, okay? So that feels like a really beautiful way to drop into just remembering that your joy, what truly brings joy to your heart, what you truly want, like truly letting yourself believe and know that you have the ability to receive what you actually want in this life. Like, let yourself truly drop into that. Because what's coming through is that there have been some of you that have been denying yourself what you truly want because maybe you've been a little bit afraid to go after it or afraid of failing at it. But what's coming through is actually taking those steps towards what you truly want is what is going to open up the pathway to support you in receiving what it is that you actually want. Letting yourself open up to actually receiving and building joy is what's going to help you find and experience what actually brings you joy. And even if you don't know what your joy is right now, that's okay. You can simply drop into intending to manifest and create joy in your life and then allow your higher self to surrender to that higher power and allow the joy to come to you. And your only job right now might be to open up to actually letting yourself receive your joy. All right, loves, I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly did. And I'm looking forward to coming on probably tomorrow with the Divine Sacred Feminine 7 chakra check in. And again, in the pinned comment, I will drop in those videos that I told you that I would. And I'll also drop in the Sacred Circle information, or you can check my community tab for that. And I look forward to connecting with you. And for those of you who have already signed up for that and offered your generous donations, I truly appreciate your reciprocity. And I am really looking forward to connecting with you all on May 1st. I love you and I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you very soon. Love you. Bye.